I think you want to know where you fall, because the issue that I'm sure you're identifying for yourself right now is that the vast majority of yoga studios out there are smack in the middle of these two things. We're neither the hub or the ultra boutique, because that's the old paradigm that we've existed in. It doesn't mean that you're screwed, that there's going to be a problem. It just means you've got to start looking longer term, bigger picture. What is it that we're building towards? What are the options there? Then when we talk about the virtual element being blended into this, there are sort of 4 categories that I could see happening, that we're already seeing people fall into organically. One is physical studio only. Maybe when this is all said and done, you're just going to be like, I hate virtual, screw it, turn it all off and just be physical only. I still believe that that is a potentially successful model. I still believe that if you were to lean all the way into that, it might even be a positive marketing angle. But I think that you are hindering the potential growth of your business and what the expectations of the up-and-comer consumer are going to be. Between online and offline, that line is extremely thin right now. And the next major consumer bracket, who is going to be your prime candidate person, 30 to 50-year-olds, has never viewed reality like that. So the risk of the physical only studio is that you will be incongruent with the reality and how people normally experience a lot of what they do, which could be a good play, because remember our first rule of marketing, to be different early and often. It could be massively differentiating, but you have to lean so far into it and put so much oomph behind that being an actual positive thing that it might actually be more work than just having some video. Then the number 2 category would be physical plus video on demand, VOD. Video on demand being as simple as we've seen it. You've got recordings, they're online somewhere, people access them online. So now your studio is both, I can physically come and see you and I can take a class on demand whenever I want. The value bar is higher. For many of you who are not in a city, this is a really important detail, because if you think of the radius around your studio and how far people would be willing to travel to practice with you on the regular. So let's define that as 2 times per week. How far away from your studio would somebody drive to practice 2 times a week, which would put them in a category to have an auto pay membership with you? There's a level just outside of that of people who won't drive in at that frequency. So they are geographically in a category that it is not possible for them to become a regular member with you. So then we think that that's a pricing play. It's not, it's a value play. Then the third would be physical with video on demand plus live streaming. Now, the reason this is its own category is that right now we're doing live streaming with Zoom. MindBody's launching their live streaming element, so on and so forth. But I think that people are underestimating how much more difficult live streaming is going to be once you're running regular scheduled classes as well. It's way harder to do live stream than you think. Right now, because you don't have your regular scheduled classes, it's a piece of cake because there's nothing else you're doing for your classes. So right now, live stream actually seems easier than making video on demand. Mark my words, when this is over, it will be the reverse. It'll be easier for you to just, whenever you feel like it, go and record a high quality class and then post it somewhere for people to go take, than it will be to organize a live stream amidst the other schedule when we consider all of the other factors involved with that, especially when we're considering quality level. So now the question becomes, you either have to go really deep on the gear necessities, thousands of dollars into gear to get a really good live stream setup of your existing classes, or you have to have 2 schedules, a schedule of live classes and a schedule of live stream classes and your video on demand. All of which is fine, but this is a bigger play. There's more going on when you're doing that. So the consideration here is, are you going to even have live stream at all? Maybe you use it for special events, but is it actually part of the regular studio? That's why it's its own category. And then the final thing is a virtual only studio. We have a couple people in the group even who I know have been having discussions based on the current circumstance and timing of their studio and finances and everything else. If you're really into the virtual, now might be the moment that they let go of the physical altogether and go full virtual. So that is a category that we should identify in terms of what a future yoga studio might look like. So probably already you might resonate towards one of these, but you've got to sort of weigh the options and make a decision based a little bit more on what your bigger vision for the studio is, and also a little bit what is happening in your market and your geography. For some of you, you might really love the idea of being a physical only studio, but the truth of the matter is it's so advantageous to just add in that video on demand in terms of retention and pricing and everything that you almost have to do it. For some of us, we might love the idea of doing live stream, but the truth of the matter is we don't have our other stuff organized to the point where we can focus on that enough to get it really dialed in. So it might not be worth the effort. So we end up landing in a different category. One of the questions that keeps coming up is pricing. What are we doing with pricing moving forward? And I think that pricing is a fascinating conversation in the yoga world always, just because we're really happy to talk about it. Yoga studio owners, like if I go into a studio owners group, a couple that I'm in from the past and stuff, they love talking about pricing. We're at a conference, people love talking about pricing. When I do like one-on-one live stuff, when I'm at an event and someone's asking me questions, and they're not one of our group members, they're not one of the Yogapreneur Collective members, I can almost guarantee that 80% of them are gonna ask me a question about pricing. People love friggin' talking about pricing. And it shows how we think that that's how people make a decision, which, as you guys know, it's not. People don't make a decision based on pricing. So future studio pricing, what I really believe is that it's going to be hinging around ultra simplified decision making. Right now, especially, people have insane, yourselves included, insane levels of decision fatigue. We have to make some pretty strong decisions recently. So we just at some point don't want to. And here's the truth. Correct me if you think I'm wrong, but when you want to solve a problem, let's use this as the example, and you really want to solve it, as long as the price is within your means, do you care how I've structured the pricing? So I think that future pricing is going to be based around simplified decision-making, as it already is, but even more so. I think that in terms of like the most successful studios, I think that we're going to have way less complicated pricing options than we have in the past. I think that customizability is starting to become something people are looking for. If when you buy a bicycle, you're going to go online and you're going to pick the color, the wheels, the size, all of it. You're going to pick all of that stuff. Customizable, everything. That's what's coming. So yoga studios, we don't have enough stuff to customize for it to be super, super necessary, but that's what I think will become cool to have in pricing options. And then finally is membership based. I think that moving forward, we might change the language, but we're talking about a recurring based pricing model. I really strongly believe that the past model that a lot of studios in the yoga world hold on to of purchasing classes as single classes and then utilizing them has been dying for a long time, and this is going to be one of the last nails in the coffin. Because those studios probably right now, and you can think for yourself, if you have someone who has a 30 class pass to your studio right now and has 24 of those classes remaining, not only are they a liability, they're probably not participating nearly as much as an unlimited member, and you're not going to see money from that person for another 12 months at least in most likely situation. So 1, you're not getting money from them. 2, you're not helping them succeed by doing what they need to do, which is practice. So I think that we're going to see that die down. I think that the grouping of people who really enjoy that style of purchasing the most are aging out of our prime market right now. And the ones who are on the cusp and are not aging out of it are also becoming more accustomed to, especially right now with online, what membership looks like. They're becoming more accepting that they don't need to look at it this way because it's going to be easier. If you think of other online things or other membership things, they're pretty simple. You're either in or you're out. If you want a Squarespace site, you can pay monthly or annually. If you want a membership to this program that helps you with your SEO, that's it. There aren't all these options. You want Zoom, you can have a free account or you can have a paid account, paid monthly. You can get a bit of a discount if you pay it annually. Vimeo, you get a discount if you pay it annually, but it's priced out monthly. That's the way pricing is going with like everything. So consumers, ourselves included, are becoming less resistant to that, more understanding that it's just a model. And it simplifies the decision making because I'm not comparing, should I opt in or should I not opt in? And if I do opt in, what's the best option, this one, or this one? I'm just either in or I'm not.